resources and the capacity and the knowledge to work are all generated in the second time of creation after the mahat-tattva. Jnana indicates the senses which are sources of knowledge and their controlling deities. Work entails the working organs and their controlling deities. All these are generated in the second creation. The sense of Bhagavatam, Photo, and Darshan,
Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Vishesha Punyavadi Vanchyanate Shakane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
So, Maitreya Rishi is now enumerating the 9 creations which he summarily mentions in the last verse. There are 9 creations and then 3 annihilations. So the first one is Adhyastu Mahat-tattva, the creation of mahat-tattva. So this is done by one of the Vishnus, Paramahamshai Vishnu, or Mahavishnu. Then Guna Vaishanyam Atmanaha. There is Guna Vaishanya, interaction of the modes. When we hear interaction of the modes, we should not think that it is happening automatically. That's why in the translation Prabhupada says, the modes interact due to the presence of the Supreme. Because the Lord is present, the modes are interact. These 3 modes, their interaction is not accidental or a hazard. Basically, they are under the control or direction. That's the presence of the Supreme. And then, Vidyastu Aham Yadra, that second creation is possible. And possible means 3 things. Dravya Jnana Dhyodaya, Dravya Jnana Dhyodaya. These 3 areas. So, the creation is a systematic process. And right control and direction of the Supreme Lord. So previous verses we have seen how time has come. So mahat-tattva was there, Pradhana was there. The original substance of matter is called Pradhana. If all the matter is reduced to a preliminary stage, that is called Pradhana. Many scientists, they try to figure out what is the original particle, what is the original matter which has spread across the whole creation. That is actually Pradhana. And when the modes appear in Pradhana, then that becomes Mahat-tattva. So sometimes mahat-tattva, Pradhana are interchangeably used. Based on the context, we know whether it is referring to mahat-tattva or it is referring to Pradhana. Here it is referring to Pradhana, mahat-tattva, because modes are mentioned. Vaishnavyam, Guna Vaishnavyam, Atma, 3 modes. 3 modes we know is Satguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. There are the 3 major departments within this creation. So, like no department works arbitrarily and accidentally, similarly, these 3 departments are controlled by 3 primary demigods ultimately because of the presence of Krishna, Krishna. So, what is this Dhana mahat-tattva? In one place it is mentioned that it is an imitation of the pure consciousness of it. Imitation of the pure consciousness of the Lord. Like we have imitation jewelry, imitation gold. Sometimes we make some items with an imitation gold, imitation jewelry. Why they call imitation? Because actually it is not gold. It is only imitation gold. So what is the imitation gold means? It is also one substance. It is also made up of some substance, but not with gold. And it appears like we have said Golden Temple, so it's real gold. But sometimes some people they paint yellow and they say golden whatever. So that is actually an imitation golden experience. It is not real gold. The substance is not gold. So similarly, mahat-tattva, pradhana, appears to be like the consciousness, the original consciousness of the Lord, but actually it is imitation consciousness. That means a kind of substance is created, which is an imitation to the consciousness that is found in spiritual world. In spiritual world, the whole substance is made up of consciousness. What is consciousness? The pillars are conscious, the land is conscious, water is conscious, the ruby is conscious. Everything is a conscious entity, conscious personality. So there is consciousness there. But here, everything is not consciousness, imitation consciousness. That is Prabhupada. It's a substance, but it is a material substance. Consciousness is permanent, eternal, blissful. Whereas, this imitation is matter. Matter in its original form is called matter. So that's the first creation. Then the Dvitiyastu ahamoyatra. From that consciousness comes falsity. This is the first element which appears. How can consciousness, pradhana is pure consciousness, imitation only, but pure consciousness. How come from the pure consciousness falsity can come? That is possible in this way. Even in our devotional activities, we first thing is phenomena. We may be very bright in our consciousness, but suddenly falsity can appear. And then, because of the mood, here it is said, by the interaction of the modes, there is a false identification. So, if we roll it back, so pradhana is there, then time is there, time is agitating the pradhana, modes appear, departments have appeared, and then those interactions are beginning. What is these three departments? It is creation, maintenance, and destruction. That's all. In matter, you can only do these three: creation, maintenance, and destruction. And so these departmental activities have arisen, and here it is mentioned, Dravya Jnana Prayodeyaha. So these three departments, modes have appeared. Then came false ego, and from the false ego came Dravya Jnana Kriyoda. These three. Dravya means material ingredients, Jnana means knowledge, Kriyoda activities. Understanding we will try to discuss. Prabhupada is saying here, this false ego is the part of mind with the soul proper. This is a very powerful element, false ego. And what is the nature of this false ego? It simply creates godlessness. This is the primary feature of this false ego. The chief function of false ego is to create a sense of false godlessness in the jiva. And the highest false ego is to think that I am God, which the Mayavadis exhibit openly. Their false egos are very big. If somebody thinks I am, say, a very wealthy man or a powerful man, false ego will be very big. And if somebody thinks I am God, now imagine how much false ego he will have. Very, very highly egoistic. I am the one who is controlling this moon. I am the one who is controlling this sun. I am the one who is controlling the stars. This is their meditation. Meditation means internal thinking process. How they think in the thought process is that. That's how they think. I am controlling all this. And you bring a Mayavadi to do any arati or something, he'll do some arati and he's thinking, I am doing arati for myself. Since I have not realized I am doing this arati, but actually it is to me only. It's called ahangraha. It is also one of the recommended methods in the Vedic system. It is there in the Vedas. But the conclusion should be that I am thinking that I am God and I am trying to worship myself, ahangropasana, but nobody else is recognizing me, nobody else is worshipping me, they are all worshipping Narayana, they are worshipping Krishna. So that means my thinking is not perfect. One has to understand by ahangropasana that actually maybe I am not God. He has to see the reality and then decide that okay, I am actually not God. So this false ego manifests in various ways. But the chief function, as Prabhupada is saying, is godlessness. Radha Govinda ki jai. Then the three main items that come from ahamo yatra dravya jnana kriyodaya. Dravya means the material ingredients. Jnana means how to manipulate those material ingredients. And then kriya, actually manipulating. That's called activity. That's all in this world. What else you can do? There are ingredients. And then there is a knowledge how to mix them. And then when you actually do and produce something, that is called kriya. Very simple understanding of, very high level understanding of the matter and its, the various things involved in it. Dravya jnana kriyodaya. Now who supplies these ingredients and who maintains these ingredients, all those things we will see in the further creations. At this level it is mentioned that false ego and its activities are mentioned with respect to dravya, jnana and kriya. That means anybody who is absorbed in dealing with these ingredients or the various resources and how to manipulate these ingredients. For example, cement, brick, all those things may be there. They're all ingredients. But there is a knowledge how to manipulate so that these structures can come up. This is called jnana. Here the jnana is not referring to any adhyatmic jnana. It is material. How to manipulate these ingredients. Kriya. And you may have jnana, but if you don't work, there is no drive. You may be knowing all the knowledge, but there is no drive to do anything, then it remains as some kind of knowledge only. But if somebody actually does it, then that's called kriya. Kriyodayaha. Material activities means they try to manipulate these resources, and they properly manipulate using this material jnana, and then they perform some activities and resulting in some sense gratificatory experience. They produce something, they try to enjoy something. So these are all an indication of false ego. How do you recognize false ego? Look at anybody's activity and his thinking, or what is he dealing with. If he is simply dealing with only these three, resources, manipulation of the resources, and activities are full of these manipulations of these material ingredients, then he is working simply for false ego. Devotees, then you may say, no, you are also dealing with cement, brick, mortar, and you are also thinking how to properly place all of them so that the structure is very strong. For example, you have to have a big tower. Now how to do it? Because there will be a lot of winds, like today there is windy, and huge winds when they come and hit the tower, and so that it has to withstand all that, those powerful winds, rain, sunlight, scorching heat. There are so many things. So then we have to take care of those forces. Sometimes there could be earthquakes. Hyderabad is considered safest with respect to earthquakes. They have divided the entire world or entire country into some zones, earthquake zones, and Hyderabad comes in a safe zone as of today. And so, because we don't know these scientific people what they do, after some time they suddenly say, no, you are also earthquake prone. Like they used to say, diabetic means you are some 120 or 130, some number is there. The sugar level reaches that number, then you are called diabetic, and everybody is happy because millions and millions of people are safe. They're all. And suddenly after some time they said, the scientists, no, it's not 130, it is just 120. That's all. Some millions of people came under diabetic, that zone. 130 means you are safe. Let us say you are 128. So you are safe. Now they reduced the limit to 120. Now what happens to this 128? That means you are diabetic. Then they all start, oh, I am diabetic, I am diabetic. Big scam it is. Then if they reduce it by another 10, most of the population will become diabetic. This is how they. So currently we are safe. Earthquakes are not visible. So taking all these forces now, how do we pile up these ingredients? This is jnana. There is a lot of research is going on, because not only how to pile up, we also have to see how much money within the budget you have to pile up. You can pile up nicely, and then tower itself can cost 200 crores. And then what happens to the other project? So that is jnana, includes all that. And then actually doing. Somebody has to do. Get the materials and then follow that jnana, and then ensure that every brick is placed properly so that the high rise, whatever the structure comes up. That's all. So then you may say, yeah, you are also doing the same. Dravyajnana Kriyodaya, we see all these things in you also. Yes, actually, karmis and the devotees, if you look at only the externals, impossible to distinguish. They also appear to be, exactly like karmis. Our preachers, they go early in the morning, they go away, they meet people and they raise funds. And then outside you will see some marketing executive, they also go, they also raise something. So, what is the difference? The difference is ahamo yatra, dvitiyastu ahamo. Their consciousness is pure and the false ego is not there. There is no false ego. They have ego, but that ego is real ego. That is not called false ego. The contemplation of an ordinary person is, yes, I am Lord of all that I survey. I can do this, I can do that. I am capable, this, that, all. This is their language. Very, very big egos. And devotees, their thinking is, I am servant of Krishna. Actually, this is a very powerful contemplation devotee should have. Repeatedly we should remind ourselves, I am constitutionally servant of Krishna. Mahaprabhu made it very accurate detailed understanding. Servant of Krishna is also accurate. More detailed understanding is Dasa, 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 Anudasa. I am servant of Krishna and I am servant of Krishna's servant and servant of Krishna's servant. I am servant of Srila Prabhupada. That's a powerful contemplation. If you want to get rid of these forces of false ego, the contemplation should be, I am eternal servant of my spiritual master. Insignificant servant. Here also subtle false ego can come, that I am very important or I am very, very great Vaishnava. No. This is also one subtle false ego. I am a very insignificant. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, my Lord, you pick me up and place me as a particle of dust at your lotus feet. We are not saying, I am Krishna's servant, so I should go and directly touch Krishna and then, deal with him directly. No. The devotee's contemplation is just make me a particle of dust at your lotus feet. So, constitutionally we are servants of Krishna, and then we are also, how we became servant of Krishna? Because of Srila Prabhupada. By becoming servant of Prabhupada, he is the real servant, he is already a servant of Krishna. So that's how we also become servant of Krishna. We are servants of Krishna because of Prabhupada. If Prabhupada has not given this service, we will be servants of Maya. That time also we are servants of Krishna only, but through his external energy. In any condition we have to remain as a servant only. But in illusion people think we are masters. We will see all that, how the thinking changes. So this is the powerful contemplation. I am an humble servant, an insignificant servant of my spiritual master. A devotee should have this continuous contemplation. How in practical life we can have this contemplation? Very simple. Because I am servant of Prabhupada, what should I do now in this circumstance? I am servant of Prabhupada, how do I handle this? I am servant of Prabhupada, how do I do my service? This is the contemplation. Prabhupada wants this to be done, and I am his servant, so I have to try to fulfill his desire. This is the thinking of a devotee. See, actually the false ego is rectified. Everything is rectified. Our spiritual life is happy, successful, if we can remain as a servant of Prabhupada in all the circumstances. That is then how can I remain? Only when you hear your Guru's words. Prabhupada's commentary, Prabhupada's purports. Otherwise, our false ego will give a different purport. Same situation, you can see with the real ego as a servant of Prabhupada, a servant of Krishna, you can see in one way. Same situation, with a false ego, you can have a different understanding. For example, say Prabhupada says, let us say a devotee happens to see a beautiful flower. He is thinking, okay, I am servant of Prabhupada, now what should I do with this flower? Like we have some nice lotuses that grow in the pond there. So he will be visualizing that, that lotus flower should go into the hand of Narasimha or onto the lotus feet of Krishna. Karmi is also in the same situation, let's say materialist. He sees that lotus flower. He'll be thinking, okay, he's already smelling in his visualization. I have to smell. I can give it to my wife, or I can better give it to my girlfriend, and she will be very happy. She visualizes the smell. She visualizes the happiness of the girlfriend and this and that. This is what. So, how the ego makes a person, that is clearly we can see. That's why Prabhupada's purports are the guiding light, guiding force. More and more devotee absorbs himself in these purports. The mental and egoistic understanding, purports and commentary will stop. There is a commentary that goes on in the mind, continuous commentary. This is like this, that is like this. So if that can be put to rest by Prabhupada's commentary, then that is the perfection of life. We'll stop here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai.
హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణ వాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణ వాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 9133107700.